Hello and welcome to my manga haul for August of 2024. And this month I have this amount. I didn't actually count them to know for sure the volume number. But yeah, they're not in a box because Rowan ripped it open. I put it on the floor and he just came and opened it for me. So yeah, they're not in a box this month. So anyway, most of this is from Sci-Fi apart from a couple. So anyway, let's just get on with the haul. First up, this is an art book. This is the Hanatime 50th anniversary exhibition art book. Obviously, Hanatime turned 50 this year. They had a big exhibition in Japan to celebrate it, and this is the art book they were showing there. It has it's not all the Hanatime series that have ever been in existence, but it's quite a lot of them, especially the popular ones like Gyona, Kami-sama Kiss, there's Fruits Basket somewhere there, Grass Mask, Gakko and Alice, Skip Beat, Tamankun's B-side, Anonymous Noise. This is Hanakimi, Baby and Me, Please Save My Earth, Springstorm and Monster, and then I don't actually recognise the rest of them. But yeah, it's got some artwork from each series in here, as well as interviews and stuff with the author and bits of information on the series and stuff. Not that I can read any of it because it's in Japanese, but this is still a very cool art book. There's New York, New York, Baby and Me. There's a bunch of interviews and stuff in here as well. Angel Sanctuary. There's Please Save My Earth. I don't know a lot of the earlier series from the 70s. There's Tamonkun's B-side. This is Chuki Brat, Yona, The World is Still Beautiful, Or Summer Teacher, Special A, and a bunch of other series too. There's Hanakimi. It's Fruits Basket. Yeah, this is very cool. Obviously, I can't read any of the interviews unless I use Google Translate, which is not going to be accurate. But yeah, it's very cool to have, and I'm glad I found a copy. I found this on eBay. Well, obviously, the only place they sell this is the exhibition, and the exhibition's ended now, so the only place to now get it is second-hand sellers, but it's brand new. Yeah, I'm glad I found one. I have been looking for one since the exhibition was around, but it took an hour to actually find one. But yeah, got it on eBay. And now to go through everything else. First up, I made a Sci-Fi order a while back to get some manhwa. It was a separate order from the rest of this. And these ones here. So my sister started watching a lot of K-dramas on Netflix, and I'm not really into watching K-dramas or live action, romance in general. So instead of watching the dramas, I decided to just pick up the manhwa instead. So I have See You in My 19th Life 1, A Business Proposal 1, and What's Wrong with Secretary Kim 1, as well as Honestly Readers 3.2, which this one's getting an anime. I have read all 4 of these, and I will probably talk more about my thoughts on them and which one I like the best in my reading log, which will be probably made in the next couple of days. But yeah, I already read the first Innocent Reader's Viewpoint, so yeah, I already knew I like this one. This one is a action sort of. He's in a novel, but it's kind of got a lot of video game sort of elements to it. So there's this guy, and he's the only reader of this novel called How to Survive the Apocalypse or something like that. I can't actually remember what the novel's called, but he's the only person who's read over all 3,000 and odd chapters of it. And when he reads the final chapters, the person who made the novel sends him a message saying, I'm giving you an advantage, and he doesn't know what that means, but then the stuff that happened in the novel start happening in real life, and like this little goblin shows up and he's like, I'm inside this novel now, but I'm the only one who knows what's going to happen because I'm the only person who has actually read this novel. And then characters from the novel also stop showing up too. Yeah, it's good, I enjoy it. And then Secretary Kim. This one is about a guy whose secretary suddenly announces that she's quitting, and so he's trying to do whatever it takes to like stop her from quitting and keep her around because he says it's inconvenient to get a new secretary. And a business proposal. This one is this girl's friend it keeps getting like arranged marriage meetings by her father, and she's sick of them and she doesn't want to go anymore, so she sends her friend in her stead, and she's like, just act crazy and put him off. So she dresses up, she goes to this marriage meeting, and the person she ends up meeting at the marriage meeting is her boss. So now she's trying to like pretend to be someone else and pretend she doesn't know him because he's now interested in marrying her, even though she was acting like a man-eater and trying to put him off. He still now wants to marry her, so she's trying to like basically get away from him and be like convince him not to marry her by also pretending to be somebody else. And then See With My 19th Life. This one is a reincarnation story about a girl who has lived 19 different lives, and in her 18th life she meets this boy, and then she dies in an accident, and she's then promised to meet him again in her 19th life, but obviously he doesn't know that her in her 19th life is the same person he knew in her 18th life, so she's like trying to get him to sort of remember. I did enjoy them all. I will talk about them more, about my favourites and such, in my reading log. So next, this is the stuff that arrived today. Apart from 2 volumes in this stack I didn't get from Sci-Fi. The rest is from Sci-Fi and it arrived today. So we're probably going to start with the smaller one. First is I Hear the Sunspot 4 Seasons Volume 2. This is such a nice cover. This is one of my favourite BL series. I love I Hear the Sunspot, and I continue to enjoy it in this new one. Like, this is volume, and overall this is volume 7. Yeah, 7. This is volume 7 overall, and volume 2 with 4 seasons. But yeah, I really like I Hear the Sunspot. It's about 2 college students where Kohei is hard of hearing and he needs help like taking notes in class and stuff because he can't hear the teacher very well, and then Taichi agrees to be his note taker in exchange for food, basically, and the 2 of them grow closer and form a relationship, and yeah, I love I See the Sunspot. Next is What He Who Doesn't Believe in Fate Says Volume 4. I think this series is only 5 or 6 volumes long, but I wasn't keen on the direction that Volume 3 took the series. Like, I would have rather it did something different, but I still want to continue reading it because it is only 5 volumes, so I might as well continue it and see how it ends. This one is also similar to Volume 3 in, like, it's not the white paper. I've got them over here. These, like, volumes 1 and 2 with this very white, like, thick, high quality paper. But then with 3 and 4, it's just, like, the normal paper. Not minus the yellowing. And then this is Only the Stars Know. This is a one-shot by Nagisa Furuya. She did a lot of one-shots, including The Two Lions and My Summer Review and Number Core and some other ones. Yeah, this is her latest one that's out in English. I'm pretty sure this one's about... They connect over stargazing. I think they both meet in a park and to watch the stars. And then end up, like, falling for each other. I'm pretty sure... From what I remember of the description, I'm pretty sure that's what it was about. In a park. It's a meteor shower. They're watching a meteor shower. Yeah, they're watching a meteor shower in the park, and then he suddenly goes in to kiss him, even though they've only just met. Yeah, I remember now. Next is Rowan Castle in the Mirror Volume 3. I adore this series. I think it's great. I love the first 2 volumes. There is like a mystery going on that is very intriguing, and the characters are interesting, and the premise is interesting, although I would give the series a trigger warning for severe bullying. So yeah, it's about middle school kids, and all of them like have difficulties in their lives. We haven't found out everything about all of the kids yet, but we found, as of the first 2 volumes, we have found out about the main girl, her, as well as we got this kid's story here, and also some about this kid. But we yet to know much about these 2 girls, or him, or we got a little bit with him. But yeah, there's still a lot more to find out about these kids. And they all have like troubled lives, and they walk through this mirror into like this mirror world where there's a castle, and there's little wolf girl, and she's like, find the key and you'll have your wish granted, but you only have like until the end of the year to do so, and if you don't find the key by the end of the year, the castle will close. But if you find the key before then, the castle will close, and only one person will get the wish. So they kind of unanimously decided to just wait until the last minute to find the key so they can stay here as long as possible, because it's kind of like a sanctuary for them where they can feel safe and get away from their troubles. But yeah, this is based on a novel, and there is an anime film which I can't find anywhere to be able to watch. Next up is Mint Chocolate Volume 11. It's still continuing Mint Chocolate. I enjoy Mint Chocolate. It is step siblings, but I'm fine with step siblings, especially if they liked each other before becoming step siblings, which these 2 did. Then is Cheeky Brat Volume 10. This one's got like pink and white stripes. A little bit different from the plain white spines we have been getting. But yeah, continue with Cheeky Brat. And then it's by the same author, Stray Cat and Wolf Volume 3. This one is a teenage girl who leaves home because the people in her village, I think it's because she's not her father's real daughter. She's like the child of his partner before they like got together. So like, because she's not actually his daughter, her grandma and the people in the village kind of shun her. So she leaves the village and she comes to Tokyo, and she like collapses in the street, and this guy finds her, and he's a musician in a band, he plays guitar, and he takes her back to his house, and she's kind of been like staying with him in his house since. I enjoy it. Right, and this is the picture that I just saw in the art book. Then Tale at the End Volume 29, almost at 30 volumes with this series now. I don't know how many there is in Japan. I think there might be 34, 35, something like that. But each volume of Tale at the End comes with one of these little mini posters. I do tend to take these out. There, this one is Yuichiro. And then volume 11 of Spy Family. I continue to enjoy Spy Family. This one's got Damien's 2 friends on the cover. And then volume 9 of Kakuyo Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. I was so happy when I learned this was getting a second season, because In terms of the manga, we're not even halfway through the first season of the anime yet. We're not even at, like, there's something that happens at the halfway point, and we're not even there yet. I think we're almost getting to the halfway point for season 1. But it's going to be a while before the anime, the manga reaches the end of where season 1 ended. So because we're getting a season 2, I'm going to be getting more content without having to wait for the manga to catch up. Or either that, or they could release the light novel in English, which I would very much enjoy if they did that, but I highly doubt they will. So, Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. This is a shoujo fantasy series about Aoi, who gets sent to the world of Ayakashi in order to clear up her grandfather's debt, because he was in debt. He was quite renowned, and he racked up a debt, and in order to pay for the debt, she has become collateral, and she has to get married to the ogre god who runs this inn called Tenjin-ya, but instead of marrying him, she decides to open up a restaurant and pay back the debt that way instead. So it's like fantasy cooking series. Volume 9. Then this is a new series from Viz Media. This is Let's Do It Already. This one is about a couple. They are already in a relationship, but she really wants to, like, do stuff with him, like kiss him and have sex and stuff like that, but his family is very, like, reserved and prudish, and they're like, you have to wait until after marriage. So he's like, no, we're waiting until marriage, but then she's like trying to convince him to kind of do stuff with her before they get married. But he won't even let her, like, hold her hand or anything. Next is Volume 3 of Sakura Saku, Aosaki Saka. This one is a girl looking for the boy who saved her on a train when she was in middle school, and she kind of gets clues to him. She only knows his name, so she risks the help of her high school classmate in order to try and find him. But it's typical Aosaki Saka. I enjoy it. And then lastly in this pile is Queen's Quality Volume 19. Rowan! What are you barking at? He's sitting in the other room on the bed, barking out the window. Rowan! I'm guessing a dog must have walked past. Anyway, Queen's Quality Volume 19. Queen's Quality is one of my favourite series. I've heard good things about this volume. I've heard a lot of people talk about this volume, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, now to go on to the larger stack here. Oops. First up is a light novel. This is The God of Nishi Yugahama Station. This is about, there was a train that crashed and a lot of people on the train died. And then there's rumours going around that the train appears at this station, and if you get on the train, you can see your dead loved ones who died in the accident, and so it draws a bunch of people in to see if the rumours are true, like including a woman who lost her fiance and a guy who lost his father, and the train conductor's wife, and a teenage boy who lost his first love. Yeah, it sounds like a sad light novel. I tend to be drawn to those, so I picked it up. Next, version of Volume 3. This series, I'm pretty sure, only has 4 volumes. This woman is looking for... She's a virgin, and she's in her 20s, I think, and she wants to find a relationship. So she agrees to go into this, like, love house with a bunch of other people to try and find a relationship, along with the guy. Is he on this cover? This guy who works in a... No, that's not the right person. But there's a guy who works in a bookshop that she often frequents, who she takes with her to this house. It's only 4 volumes. This next one I'm super excited for. This is Pop Opposites Attract. This is a romance series with dogs. So this is dog manga. I have to grab all the dog manga. It is extremely necessary. But we have this woman who has a Rottweiler, and she meets this guy here who has a Pomeranian, and they kind of bond over their dogs and form like a relationship, and it looks very cute. Especially this Rottweiler. A fluffy feel-good romance for dog owners and admirers alike. Yeah, I like big dogs, so I really like this Rottweiler. It's super cute. And the Pom's cute too. I'm definitely very looking forward to reading this one. See the cute puppies. See the cute puppies. Oh, it's already adorable, and it's just the first page. Walking the doggos with the cute wiggly tails. I'm so looking forward to reading this one. As soon as I finish off my haul from last time and finish reading those, this is probably going to be the first thing I read. Next, we have My Lipstick Life as Night Otaku 3 and 4. This is... Hello, Rowan. Speaking of dog manga, here's Rowan. You're peeking through the door. This is the final 2 volumes. It's a 4-volume long series. So, like, I really like the first 2 volumes, and I'm looking forward to finding out more about her in the present rather than in high school. I want to know who her daughter's father is, and whether it's one of these 2 guys that from her high school life, or whether it's someone completely different, or what actually went on. Whether she actually got with one of them. Yeah, hello. I'm looking forward to finding that out by reading these last 2 volumes. Are you proud of yourself for eating my box? Here's Gazing at the Star Next Door, Volume 2. I really love Volume 1 for this. It's a shoujo romance between 2 childhood friends. One of them is like going through his acting debut, and he's becoming more popular and famous, and because of that he's kind of becoming a bit more out of reach, and she's liked him since they were children, but obviously she doesn't feel comfortable telling him because he's now like an actor and he's popular, and he has all these fans who wouldn't be very happy to find out he was dating someone. But yeah, I really enjoyed the first volume. Next is Volume 2 of Medalist. I also very enjoyed Volume 1 of Medalist. It's an ice skating series about this guy. He was an ice skater, but he had to like give up his ice skating career because he knew that he would never get any further with it. He entered like this Japan qualifier, but he came like somewhere in the middle, and he knew that he couldn't really take his career any further. He was getting old, so he retired from that, and now he's looking for another job that kind of involves ice skating. Maybe as like a dancer or something. And he meets this little girl who wants to become an ice skater, but she's 10 years old, which is quite late for children to start learning to ice skate, because normally if you want to make a career out of it, you have to start at like 4 or 5 years old. So because she's late to the game, there's not very many coaches willing to take her on, thinking that she's not going to really get very far because of her age. But then he agrees to like become her coach and help her become like Japan's #1 ice skater. Not this girl. This is a different girl. This is another girl who's her age. But obviously she's been ice skating since she was little, so she has an advantage. But yeah, she kind of befriends her. It's this girl. Obviously she's starting with the basics, and he has to like teach her everything right from the start. I really like the first volume, and it's getting an anime. Next is a chunker. We have Turns Out My Online Friend Is My Real Life Boss. This one I think was a web manga. It's a BL about a guy who plays this online game, and he has a friend in this online game who he plays it with, and he complains to this friend about his boss and how much he hates his boss and how much of like a hard ass he is. And then it turns out the friend he's praying with in this game is his boss. So he's been complaining to his boss about his boss. Rowan! There is not even anything out there! Get down! Rowan! What's this? Stop it! Yeah. Rowan! You don't bloody listen, do you? Get down! It turns out he's been complaining to his boss about his boss. And obviously he finds that out, as the title suggests. And it's supposed to be like a comedy. I've heard it's supposed to be like really good. I've heard good things about it. I've heard people say it's really funny. Next is another BL. We have The Yearning Fox Rise in Weight. This one is about, I think he was sacrificed to a fox god. It takes place in the 1920s. Kyo from the countryside has finally earned a spot at the top university in the nation's capital. When Kyo gets lost upon arrival in Tokyo, the mysterious Otazaki offers him a place to stay in exchange for some housework. Little does Kyo know that Otazaki has some big secrets. He's actually a fox spirit who had some sort of connection to Kyo's grandfather, Seishiro. Why are old men in manga always called Seishiro? I feel like that's a common old man name. As the two live side by side, Kyo chips away at the walls around Otazaki's heart, and the secrets of his past are slowly revealed. Into what kind of relationship does Otazaki and Seishiro have, and what does it mean for Otazaki and Kyo? And then there's one last BL in the pile, and that is BL First Crush Anthology 5 Seconds Before We Fall in Love. This is short. It's an anthology, so it's different short stories written by different authors. They must be very short because I've just seen the list of authors on the back. And all of these people have a story in here. They can't be much more than like 5 or 6 pages. Yeah, it's a bunch of different BL authors just writing short stories about first love. Oh yeah, here's the list of chapters. There is, it doesn't actually have chapter numbers, so it has the author there, and then the name of the story there. But yeah, the first one seems to only be like 6 pages long. So they're very, very short. No, it's actually not even that. 1, 2, 3. The first story is 4 pages long. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 pages long. They're about 4-page long stories. Next, this is Reliving My Life with a Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me. This is another reincarnation story where she gets reincarnated. I think they both get reincarnated, but she remembers him, but he doesn't remember her. I think this is based off a light novel. Yeah, it literally says there. The manga adaptation of the critically acclaimed novel series Return from Death. I Kicked the Bucket and now I'm back at square one with a boyfriend who doesn't remember me. So yeah, they shortened the title a bit for the manga. She's a magic student. Suddenly dies alongside her boyfriend Vincent. However, she returns from death in the body of her 7-year-old self with the memories of her past intact, except for the knowledge of what killed her. She fantasizes for years about reuniting with her brother, but when they finally meet, Vincent doesn't remember her. Can she make Vincent fall in love with her again and avoid death that started this mysterious time loop? Yeah, it sounded really good. The art style looks very nice too. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. And the covers are also very nice. I think the light novel was in English, but I don't know if it's physical or not. I'll have to look out for it if I enjoy the manga. Next I have some Steamship. So there's the final volume of Ladies on Top, volume 6. This is the final volume. Then we have I Can't Refuse S Volume 3. This one revolves around a woman who wants to become the mistress of this like rich guy in order to pay off her family's debts, but he won't accept her unless she's trained, so his butler has been training her to be like a good mistress. I have been enjoying this one. And then Outbride Beauty and the Beast, which is this girl being banged by different monster dudes. There's like 4 of them, and they're all trying to impregnate her with their children so they can like save their world from like an incoming disaster, because they need powerful children in order to do that. It's trash, but I enjoy it. And then we have Insomniacs After School Volume 5. I've really been enjoying Insomniacs After School. It's a slice of life seinen series about 2 kids who have insomnia, who's re-established the astronomy club at their school, and they start like just hanging out together during the night when they can't sleep. And he's like taken up photography and become very interested in photography, especially like taking pictures of the night sky and stuff. Yeah, it's very good. I enjoy it. I think there might be some romance later on, but as of right now, it's mainly just slice of life. This next one is a light novel. This is Stitches. This is... Junji Ito didn't write this, but he did the art for the stories. So the short stories are written by Hirokatsu Kihara, and Junji Ito did the art. Although there is in the back... It goes this way around. But then it also goes this way around. Because in the back there is a short story by Junji Ito called The Summer Graduation Trip. This was written and drawn by Junji Ito, and it is a manga. It's not very long. But the main thing itself is a collection of prose stories by this author, and Junji Ito did the art because it's like each page has like some artwork in like the middle of it. The stories aren't very long. But yeah, the artworks are kind of just on the pages. And they're like some words. And then like a bunch of art. Where's the one I saw that was like in the middle of the page? This one. With the the words around the side of it. I think it looks very cool. So yeah, they're very short stories, and I like Junji Ito. I'll look forward to getting around to it at some point. I'm definitely looking forward to Junji Ito's autobiography when that comes out, because he has some interesting stories to tell about his own life as well. And then last up is My Name is Shingo. This is a sci-fi horror, I think. It's by Kazuo Umez. We've been getting a lot of Umez manga in English. I haven't finished Cat Eye Boy yet. I still need the second volume. But I think this one is about... That's hard to read. It's kind of on like the shiny purple surface, and it's kind of a bit hard to see. When an industrial robot named Monroe begins to work at his father's factory, Satoru is fascinated as he and his friend Marin spend more time with Monroe. They start to suspect there's more to the machine than anyone else realizes, but neither children nor adults are prepared for Monroe's violent awakening into consciousness. So it's about a robot becoming sentient, I think. And these must be the 2 kids. I enjoyed Kazuo Umez, like, this stuff, so... And this one sounded interesting. It's more of a sci-fi. Ooh. Colourful boxes. So, like, colour art there. Oh, a universe. And then the manga. So yeah, that is it for my haul for August. I'll be back maybe on Wednesday or maybe tomorrow, depends, with a reading log where I will go over everything I read in August, including these. Obviously, the rest has just arrived, so I haven't read any of that yet. So I hope you enjoyed the haul, and I hope I hope you check out the reading log when I make it, and I will see you then, and goodbye. And Rowan says goodbye too.